Usually I do this at the end, but let's do it at the beginning. I want everybody in Zoom land. Right, that's not going to work. Okay. Let's do this. Oops. Hey, Joe, can you spotlight this computer? Okay. No? Let's see here. All right. Everybody wave. They can see you. There we go. And say Shabbat Shalom. Oh my goodness, look at that beautiful full sanctuary. All right. Well, we want to start by welcoming you to Temple Emmanuel and to say thank you for coming and celebrating with the Wurtzel family this morning. In just a few minutes, Maddie's going to come up and she is going to receive her first talit. And you are going to notice that Maddie will not be wearing her mask as she had a COVID test. And so she gets to take her mask off. She came back negative. And so she's going to get to smile and lead without a mask on this morning. I'm going to keep mine on. And it's our policy here at Temple Emmanuel that your mask has to cover both your nose and your mouth. And I appreciate, and our Board of Trustees appreciates all of you helping us keep everyone safe as we celebrate today. So we're going to begin with what is called a nigun. A nigun is a wordless melody. And what you're going to see is that up on our screen, there are going to be sometimes some lyrics that will pop up. This one just says nigun in front of it. Everything that you need is either on the screen in front of you. If you see a number in the top left-hand corner, that's going to be the number if you like to use a prayer book. Otherwise, everything you need is right there for you to use during our worship. You know, I always say that if you come from a Christian tradition, there's nothing offensive in Jewish liturgy to any Christian person. And so you are welcome to read along and participate if you feel comfortable doing so. But Maddie's going to be leading you in beautiful worship in just a few minutes. So thank you for being here. I'd like to introduce cantorial soloist Emily K. Wiss right now, who's going to be leading us in this nigun, this wordless melody. Sing along once you learn the melody. And so we see there's a number, page 287, if you'd like to use your prayer book, but we're going to read responsively from the screens as we begin our worship this morning. We give thanks to you, O God, for this Shabbat day, which unites us as a community of faith and hope. For the holiness of Shabbat, which can lead us to fulfill the best that is in us, we give thanks. For the memories of Shabbat, enriched by generations of our people who observed it and from it drew courage to face hardship and light to banish darkness, we are grateful. We offer thanks for the peace of Shabbat, the day consecrated to family love. O God, our turning to you exalts our humanity. You are the joy of our life, the source of its greatness, its power and beauty. Help us, O God. Help us to find peace within ourselves and one another. It is is my honor to call forward Maddie and some people that are very dear to her for the giving of her first talit. We have Susie and Jack Island. They are going to be coming up right here and presenting her with her first prayer shawl.
We are honored to present to you this talit, a symbol of your devotion to your faith and your blossoming into a young woman of grace and compassion.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahitatech batzitzit. We continue with Matovu on page 290.
Matovu, Ohad Hayakom, Vishtenoteh Yisrael. Matovu, Ohad Hayakom, Vishtenoteh
We continue on page 291 with the blessing for the creation of our bodies. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar u'mafli la'asot. We continue with the blessing for our souls on page 292. The soul that you have given me, O God, is pure. You created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as I have breath, therefore, I will give thanks to you, my God and the God of all ages, source of all being, loving guide of every human spirit. Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado nefesh kol chai, baruch kol basar ish. We continue with Nasim B'chol Yom, the morning blessings, on pages 293 through 296. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech vivina lechavim ben yom uvein laila.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten laya'ef koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheina me'enai uchnu ma'me'afapai.
Amen.
Baruch Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tselem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Page 297. Adonai, our God, make the words of your Torah sweet to us, and to the house of Israel, your people, that we and our children may be lovers of your name and students of your Torah. We praise you, O God, teacher of Torah to our people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai hamamid Torah le'amo Yisrael. We continue on page 298 with Elu Devarim. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish, our prayer of transition, on page 312. Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayeta kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach la'alam u'lo me'amaya. Yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei tekudasha harichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata b'nechemata damiram be'alma himeru. We rise in body or spirit for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, on page 313. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvarei choshech, oseh shalom uvarei et hakol. Page 314. Restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, welcome the gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer Hamarot. We continue with our statement of belief, the Shema, on page 318. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. As you are seated, we continue chanting Be'ahavta on page 319. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'lachtecha v'derech u'shochbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yardecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai pitem kidoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 321. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. We join together on page 322 as we celebrate going from slavery to freedom with Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ledar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, ol sefelet, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ledar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, ol sefelet.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit as we begin chanting the tefillah, also known as the Amidah, beginning on page 323. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
324.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
326.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישבינו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גאונך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated as we continue singing the Shamru, the commandment to observe Shabbat, on page 328.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדעת ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדעת ברית עולם. ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדעת ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדעת ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדעת ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות השבת לדעת ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש לעשות דרך השבת לדורותיו ולעולם.
We continue on page 329. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to holiness and time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 330. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, B'amcha Yisrael, Utfilatam ba'ahava tikabel, Uti l'ratzon tamid, Avodat Yisrael amecha. On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves, and the charity to see the best in those around us. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. We praise you, Adonai, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadacha b'yir'ah na'avod. Page 331. Modim anachnu lach. She'atah hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu, magen yishenu, atah hu ledor v'dor. Page 332.
For this section of our prayer of thanksgiving, we have a part. We are going to say the words Modim anachnu lach. So repeat after me. Modim anachnu lach. Beautiful. You'll see these words pop up, and those words mean we give thanks to you, God.
Grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations.
Modim anachnu lach.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons.
Modim anachnu lach.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
Modim anachnu lach.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared.
Modim anachnu lach.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
Modim anachnu lach.
We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. We continue with our morning prayer for peace, Sim Shalom, on page 334.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha.
We take a few moments for silent prayer and meditation, using the words on pages 335 through page 337 to guide us.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We have now reached that part of our service called Seder Kriyat HaTorah, or the service from reading from the Torah, which many consider to be the high point of our service today. You see, when Maddie recites the blessing before and after reading from the Torah, when she finishes that blessing, that's going to be that moment where some people say she becomes a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandments. So, we have some very special things that are going to happen today, a little bit unusual. We want to acknowledge that the Torah, the middle Torah that we have here, that Maddie's going to be reading from, is actually the Torah that her grandparents, Ellen and Harold Feinberg, in memory of Ellen's mom, Bernice, they were the ones to have the Torah koshered, which means to have it fit for ritual use. And so there's a special connection between that middle Torah that Maddie is about to read from and the Wurzel family, which is absolutely beautiful. I think there's also going to be another special gift that comes as well. Is it okay to tell her now?
Yes.
It's on there. So the yad that Maddie is going to be using, and so we never touch the top of the Torah with our fingertips because of the oils in our hands. And so we use what's called a yad, or a pointer finger, that we hold on to when we read from the Torah. And the yad that she is going to be using was the same yad that her mother, that Maddie's mom, Jennifer, used at the time when she became a bat mitzvah. So there's a beautiful piece from generation to generation here that we will be seeing momentarily. Let's see. And then last but not least, we're going to do, because there's so many wonderful family members who are able to be present with us today as Maddie becomes a bat mitzvah, we're going to have one member of the family come forward for the aliyah, and all of the other individuals are going to rise in their seats, which is a little bit different. During COVID, we try to minimize movement as much as possible, and so we're going to ask those family members who are being honored to rise at their seats, and one representative will be with us. So we will start by calling up the individuals who are going to be helping us with opening the ark doors for taking the Torah out of the ark. And those people are Sandy and Jeff Orenstein, as well as Tracy Spinrad and Grant Shapiro. They're going to come forward. And then if you are someone who is involved in passing the Torah from generation to generation, we're going to ask you to come forward as well. You know who you are. Grandparents, I believe. Right? And Eli and parents. So our ark door openers, one couple on one side, one couple on the other side. And then Eli, you're going to be handing the Torah to Maddie, so you're right next to her. And then we're going to move grandparents this way down the road. You guys come. What a beautiful family. All right. So we are going to, as the ark doors are open, we rise. Whenever the Torah rises, so do we. So I invite you to rise in body or in spirit for removing the Torah from the ark.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוזר מועיל, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
362.
הרחמים היטיבה בצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך עולם ונישא אדון עולמים.
364.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים.
On the bottom of 365 over to 364, we're taught, in this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. And now we'll be passing the Torah from generation to generation, what we call the transmission of heritage, all the way back down to Maddie. On page 366.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Lecha Adonai hagedula והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההון, כי חום בשמיים ובארץ, כי חום בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל הראש. שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים העולם אומר. שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים. ועל גמילות חסדים, התורה ועל העבודה, ועל גמילות חסדים. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקדשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקדשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקדשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקדשו.
So this morning, you are in for a real treat. No pressure. She's really amazing at reading Torah. If you would like to follow along, we have Torah commentaries in the back. And Maddie's going to be reading from Genesis chapter 28, verse 10. That's where she's starting from. Genesis chapter 28, verse 10. And the part that she is going to be reading is right at the beginning of the Torah portion about Jacob's dream and the angels going up and down the ladder. Are you ready? Okay. I think you're ready. So, we just need one more piece of paper. This is your yarn, my dear. And so, representing the family up on the bima is Maddie's brother, Eli. And then standing at their seats are Devin and McKinley and Zoe and Tanner. And so we say, Ya'amdu, Ephraim, Michal, Mahir Yitzhak, Meir Noam, David ben Gershon, Chana, Rachel bat Gershon, Chana le'aliyah leTorah. So rise in your seats if your names were called, and Eli, you are going to come forward to say the blessing. The blessing for all of you, if you would like it, you're going to come stand on that side, right here, is on page 368. There you go. Give that to Eli. Okay.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amin, v'na'atan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Microphone back to your sister.
Amen. Vayetze Yaakov miBeersheva vayelech Harana vayivga b'makom vayalen sham kiva hashemesh vayikach ma'avnei hamakom vayasem marashotav vayishkav b'makom hahu vayachalom v'hinei sulam mutzav arksa v'rosho magia hashamayma V'hinei ma'achei Elohim olim ve'yordihim bo.
We'll sing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tomenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Thank you all. And Eli, I'm going to let you come stand back here because you actually live in the same house with your sister. So you can be up here. And for our second Aliyah, we have Brian, Maddie's dad, coming up for the Aliyah. And standing at their seats are Kenny Wurtzel, Sandra Wurtzel, Jeff Wurtzel, Cheryl Wurtzel, Marnie Younger, and Danny Younger. If you would rise at your seats, we're going to say, Ya'amdu, Yisrael David, Sadia Viva, Chaim Zalman, Issachar Ruvain, Zamira Tivona, Bat Yam Geshem, Daniel Yaliyah Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amin, v'na'atan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Beginning on verse 13.
Amen. V'hinei Adonai Havala, Vaimar, Ani Adonai, Elohei Avraham Avicha, Elohei Yitzchak Haaretz, Asher Ata Shochev Aleha, Lecha Etnena Ulezar Echa, V'haya Zarcha Ka'afar Haaretz, Ufaratz Tara, Yamava Kedma, Betzafo Navanegba, Benivrechu Becha, Kol Mishbechot Ha'adama, Uvezar Echa, V'hine Anochi Imach, Ushmarticha Becho Asher Telech, V'hashiv Oticha, El Ha'adama Hazot, Ki Lo Ezacha, Ad Asher Imasiti, Et Asher Dibarti, Lach.
And a blessing after for all of you with the honors.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nafas etochinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Brian, you can stay up here since you live in the same house. And for our third Aliyah, we call up Maddie's mom, Jennifer, standing on the bima and staying at their seats. We'll invite you to rise Harold Feinberg, Ellen Feinberg, Hera Feinberg, and Joe Feinberg. Ya'amdu, Yosef Abracha, the Yitzhak Herschel, the Adina Meira, the Chaya Sarah, the Yaakov Chaim Le'aliyah L'Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamburach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamburach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Verse 16.
Amen. Baikat Yaakov, Mishnato, Bayomer, Achen, Yesh Adonai, Bamakom Hazeh, Banochi, Lo Yadati, Bayra Vayamar, Manora, Hamakom Hazeh, Ein Zeh, Ki, In Beit Elohim, Bezeh, Shar Hashamayim, Vayashkem Yaakov, Baboker, Vayikach et ha'evan asher sam ra'ashotav, Vayasem otah matzeva, Vayitzok shemen al rosha'a, Vayikra et shem hamakom hahu, Beit El, Be'ulam, luz shem ha'ir, la rishonah.
And the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nafas etochinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. To get some after tea. You guys can come closer because you all live in the same house. So this is the time when Maddie will actually be reciting the blessing before and after reading from the Torah. And once she has finished reading from the Torah, saying the after blessing, we're all going to say, Mazel Tov, really loudly. That's what we're going to do. That's our line. Okay? So I get to call you up with some special words. And the special words, when I call you up, are not only your Hebrew name, but also I get to say, Ha Bat Mitzvah. And I like to explain that this happens twice, potentially, in someone's life. Once at 13, when they become a bat mitzvah, or later for some people. Some people become adult or a bat mitzvah. But when you turn 83, you can be called to the Torah a second time as a bat mitzvah. It used to be that we considered a full life to be 70 years. And so when you lived a full life of 70 years, and then you added 13 more on, then at 83, 13 additional on, at 83, then you could be called a bat mitzvah again. So my hope and prayer for you is that this is not the only time you become a bat mitzvah, that you also become a bat mitzvah when you turn 83 years old. I hope I'm here then. Okay, here we go. So, Maddie Rose Wurzel. Ta'amot, 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 Mea Shoshanat bat Yisrael, David ve'Yosef Baracha, habat mitzvah li'aliyat leTorah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Verse 20.
Vayidar Yaakov neder lemor, im yihiyeh Elohim imadi, ushmarani ba'derech hazeh, asher anochi holech, v'natan li lechem lechol uvegadil bosh, v'shavti v'shalom el beit avi, v'haya Adonai li lelohim, v'ha'even hazot, asher samti matzevah, Yiyah Beit Elohim, Bechol Asher Titan Li, Aser Asrinu Lach. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torat emet, V'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. And now this is when we wish Maddie a hearty Mazel Tov. And I think there's going to be kissing and hugging. Hugging? Hugging. This is one really cool, close family. I knew there was going to be a kiss or two. Okay, so you can all sit down because we're going to call up, for the honor of lifting the Torah, Joe Feinberg, and Addison, Grayson, and Emerson Feinberg for the honor of redressing the Torah. All right. As the Torah is lifted, we rise. B'zot ha'Torah asher sa Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael api Adonai b'yad Moshe. Ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, bo lefanav b'nana, lefanav b'nana. Yalai, 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 Ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, bo lefanav b'nana, lefanav b'nana. Yalai, 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 Ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, bo lefanav b'nana, lefanav b'nana. Yalai, yalai, Ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, ivdu et Hashem mesimcha, bo lefanav b'nana, lefanav b'nana. So in just a moment, Maddie is going to be chanting the blessings before and after reading the Haftarah. I'm going to tell you, today's Haftarah is the prophet Hosea. And he's very, very angry. not a little bit angry. I mean, very angry. So we had a hard time picking some verses appropriate for a bat mitzvah. I even went and searched for an alternative haftarah, and we decided to go with a very angry prophet. Now, why does that matter? Because the prophets are supposed to be speaking the word of God, and most of their job is really to just yell at the people and tell them they're not doing the right thing, to hopefully get them back on track so that they are doing the right thing. And we don't want to yell at anybody today, did we? No. So she's going to be reading some of the least angry verses in her haftarah this morning. All right, so if you would like to follow along with the blessing, they're on page 372 in your prayer book. And Maddie's going to begin with the blessing before reading from the haftarah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'moshe avdo Yisrael amo, u'rinbiei ha'emet v'tzedek.
And now Hosea speaking the words of God.
I will heal their disloyalty. I will love them freely, for my wrath has turned away from them. I will be like dew to Israel. They shall blossom like a lily, and strike roots like the trees of Lebanon. Their shoots shall spread out wide, their splendor like an olive tree's, their fragrance like that of Lebanon. Those who sit in their shade shall return to me. They shall grow their corn and blossom like a vine, renowned as the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim shall say, "What are idols to me now?" I will respond and look to him. For I am a luxuriant cypress, from which your fruit is found. The wise shall understand these things. The discerning shall know them, that straight are the ways of the Eternal. While the righteous walk in them, transgressors stumble on them.
And the blessing after reading from the haftarah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber u'mkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'linucha lechavod u'tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim otach yitbarach shimcha b'fi chol chai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. How do you feel? Good. So now we are going to return the Torah to the ark. And again, when we open the ark doors, when we lift the Torah, we rise. We're going to be on page 374 for returning the Torah to the ark.
Yitzchayim hi lamahzikim ha v'tomcheha meushar b'racheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu
You may be seated. It is now my honor to present to you today's bat mitzvah, Maddie Wurzel.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
How do you feel when someone is dishonest to you? What would your reaction be? Why would Laban trick Jacob twice? And why did Jacob not do much about it? In my Torah portion, Vayetze, Jacob was on his journey to Haran and met Rachel. They kissed, fell in love, and wanted to get married. Rachel's dad, Laban, tricked Jacob twice in order for the marriage to happen. Although he didn't know it, Jacob first had to marry Leah, and then he could marry Rachel. Later, there is a rivalry between Rachel and Leah regarding the number of children each sister has, especially sons. In their competition, Leah is the winner because she has more sons, but at the same time, she loses because Jacob loves Rachel more. Today, I want to focus on dishonesty and dealing with dishonest people. As I said before, Laban promises to give Jacob his daughter Rachel as a wife, but instead, Laban deceived Jacob on their wedding day and gave him his older daughter Leah. Jacob then had to work another 7 years to marry Rachel. Laban also offered to pay Jacob for all his hard work by giving him his choice of animals from his herd, but Laban tricks Jacob again by sending him the animals that he didn't choose. Then, again, Laban took advantage of Jacob when it came to paying Jacob fair wages for all his work. Laban didn't hesitate to lie when it benefited him, nor steal when he thought he could get away with it. Yes, Laban was dishonest throughout my entire portion, but the real question is, how should Jacob have handled Laban's dishonest behavior? Jacob's first response was to confront Laban with a series of questions. For example, "What is this that you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I have been in your service? Why did you deceive me?" To me, it seems as though Jacob was investigating Laban to figure out Laban's motives. Although it seems as though Jacob would ask these questions angrily or in a hostile manner, he did not. Instead, Jacob seemed very understanding when Laban explained that it is not custom in our place to marry off the younger before the older. Also, Jacob could have been naive and believed Laban because Laban was his mother's brother. Jacob trusted him, but after Laban broke their verbal agreements and deceived Jacob time after time, Jacob was enraged and confronted Laban with his dishonesty. Jacob eventually escaped with Leah, Rachel, their children, the animals, and other personal belongings to go back to his native land. One lesson from my Torah portion is that people should not be dishonest, because if you are, you can lose what is important to you, like Laban eventually losing his family. If I was in Jacob's position, I would have immediately confronted Laban, because he was not keeping his word to his family and should not have lied. I would have made him honor his verbal contract. As you know, I just became a teenager, and being in middle school, I've experienced that teenagers like to spread rumors that are not always true. Unfortunately, even though most people know they aren't true, these lies are still hurtful, if people choose to believe them. The best thing we can do to liars is to tell your truth and then walk away. For my Mitzvah project, I gathered various groups of friends to make holiday cards for people in assisted and independent living facilities and hospice care. We started in February with Valentine's Day cards and have continued throughout the year for Easter, Passover, 4th of July, Halloween, and we are currently making Christmas and Hanukkah cards. We also attach a chocolate treat to all the cards. As we drop them off, we are always told how much the patients love the cards and chocolates and how it brings a smile to their faces. It's hard for me to imagine that some people might never get cards or know that someone cares, so thanks to everyone who helped to create the cards and donated supplies. Your help and generosity are greatly appreciated. I would like to say thank you to some special people in my life. Mom, thank you for helping me prepare for this moment. From putting me in religious school when I was little to listening to my Torah portion and prayers to make sure I go slow enough. I love being together at school as well. You are always there for me when I need you, and I appreciate everything you do. I love you. Dad, thank you for being the absolute best dad ever. Thank you for driving me to prayer class and getting me Starbucks, and most importantly, for helping me whenever I need it, especially by killing all the bugs. I love you. Eli, thank you for listening to me when I'm practicing my prayers and correcting me if I do anything wrong. I love having sibling time with you. Whenever I'm feeling down, you always go out of your way to make me smile. Thank you for being the best brother I could ever ask for. I love you. To all my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, thank you all for supporting me and wanting to spend time together. I always have so much fun with you all. I love you guys. To all my friends, thank you guys for being such an important role in my life. Y'all are the best. Thank you to everyone at Temple Emmanuel for helping me prepare for this special day. I appreciate all of you. Finally, thank you to everyone who traveled from near and far, as well as all of you on Zoom, for being here on my special day. It means a lot to me and my family. Dear God, I'm thankful for my family and friends and all the wonderful things I get to do, like traveling and taking dance classes. I'm also thankful I have everything I need in life, like food, clean water, and shelter. Lastly, I am thankful for being able to get a good education, because this will help me have a good career and become independent someday. My hopes for the future are that every day we all do something to make someone's day better, especially if we see someone struggling. Next, I hope that we get to do some of our favorite activities normally again soon. Lastly, I hope we learn to not take the things we have for granted, like our health and happiness, and be grateful for the things we have and are able to do. And together we say, Amen.
This is the best part, I bet. You get to go sit down with your parents, and I get to say nice things about you. Okay, they're going to make room for you. So more kisses. So Maddie, you know better than anyone what this Torah portion is about, and you focused on one section of the Torah portion, but you read about Jacob's dreams. And so I want to talk to you about your dreams for your future and my dreams for your future. You have been a remarkable student to work with. The first time you read for me, I think I started tearing up, didn't I? Yeah, I was so proud. And I've had the opportunity to get to know you these months a little bit. But one of my dreams for you is that I get to know you and your brother even more, and your mom and your dad even more. Because I love your family's commitment to Judaism. And I can see great things coming for you. I don't usually say this out loud, but I did ask her if she wanted to become a rabbi or a cantor. And then I said, not too much pressure, right? Didn't I say that? But the reality of it is you don't have to be a rabbi or a cantor to love your Judaism and to practice your faith tradition. And your family here today, they are evidence of that. I want you to love being Jewish as much as I think you loved learning for today. Your mom and dad told me that they didn't really have to make you practice. Is that right? That doesn't happen normally, just so you know. Normally parents have to help their children along with the practicing to become a bar bat mitzvah. So Maddie, take that love of Judaism, that love of wanting to do well, right? Because you wanted to do beautifully here today. Take that into your future life along with what I see as some of the best parts of you. Your deep thought about what you wanted to share with this community today as the community's teacher. You thought about what the lessons were you wanted to share. Take that with your kindness. You notice little things. And noticing little things are going to keep you special throughout your life. Because that's how you make a difference in other people's lives. It's by paying attention to the little things. Paying attention when you see someone who is down. We talked about how you can help raise them up. Paying attention to big things like honesty and truth and relationships. And being willing to stand up for yourself, for what you know is best for yourself throughout your life. You are a remarkable 13-year-old. And I think most of the people here already knew that. I've had the opportunity to get to know that recently, that part of you. It is my honor to invite your mom and your dad and your brother to come forward so that they can bless you. They are going to put their hands on your heads and follow the tradition of our people. As parents have always blessed their children, they're going to come up in front of the ark. Eli, you can put your hands on your sister's head too. I'm going to actually ask you to open the ark doors as everyone rises for the blessing of our people.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May Adonai, our God, may the Eternal always protect you and keep you wherever you go, whatever adventures you may go on throughout the course of your life.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May the light of God that is already within you shine brightly throughout the course of your life, and may you always feel God's grace in whatever you do, God's love for you wherever you go.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
May God's face always be lifted up unto you, and may you always feel a sense of shalom, a sense of wholeness, and a sense of peace on the many journeys that will follow. May you always feel love of your parents, your brother. May this nuclear family always be a great support to you and always help you feel complete. And together we say, Amen. So the family's going to turn around and face the ark as I return us to our slides, because we are about to conclude our service with the Aleinu. We remain standing.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, להתקן לה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כבי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, ולא שם כלפינו כהם, וגורלנו ככל העונה, ואנחנו קוראים משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
As the ark doors are closed one last time, we invite you to be seated as the family returns to their seats. Our thoughts now turn to those in our circle of family and friends who have passed away, who have died either recently or in this season in years past. And so if there is someone for whom you are saying Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, we'll invite you to rise and share your loved one's name as we remember them. Please state their names as my eyes meet yours. And if there's, yes. Thank you. And if there's anyone online, and so we rise in solidarity with those who mourn, and we say Kaddish for those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, remembering all those who have died from COVID and from acts of war and terror. We say these words, hallowed by the generations. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Ve'alma Divrach Hirutei Ve'amlich Malchutei V'chaye Chon Uvyome Chon Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Va'agala Uvizman Kari V'imru. Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Ulalmei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yit'aleh V'yithalal Shmei Dekudesha B'richu La'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran Me'alma V'imru. Amen. Yehe Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. O say Shalom Mimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and bring comfort to all those who are bereaved among us and those who are bereaved all around the world. And together we say, Amen. I'm going to invite all of you to be seated except for Karen Kahn, who I think is going to be doing one of our board members' favorite things. So Maddie, if you would like to come forward and get some presents, this is the time.
My name is Karen Kahn, and I am Temple Emmanuel Sisterhood President and a member of our Board of Trustees. And I have to tell you, I have watched you grow up since you were teeny tiny, and I've known your family for a long time. So I am not only honored, but just so excited that I got to be a part of your special day. And I just want to tell you, you did an amazing job. So Mazel Tov on becoming a Bar Mitzvah today. This is such a special moment in your Jewish past. And it is obvious that you have worked really, really hard to do a good job, to prepare, and you should feel very, very proud of the work that you did and the job that you did this morning. So this morning you led the service with confidence, and you taught us. And I also loved hearing about your project. And I think it fills me with pride. I'm sure it fills everyone here with pride to hear of your heart and your desire to just do things for someone that maybe was lonely. So great job on that. So I have some goodies for you. We have a Kiddush cup, which I think is already out, actually, that's courtesy of Men of Emmanuel and the Temple Sisterhood. It will always be a special cup for you so you can use with many celebrations in your life. I also have a Jewish study Bible, and I hope that you can turn to it for inspiration through many, many moments in your life as you continue your studies. And finally, we have a certificate, which, right under here. And it is a certificate from NIFTY and the Jewish Community Association of Greater Phoenix. And that is to offset the cost of a Jewish birthright trip to Israel, should you choose to do that. And finally, you receive your official certificate for becoming a Bat Mitzvah today. So proudly frame it and hang it somewhere special so you can always remember this day. So again, Maddie, congratulations, Mazel Tov, and wonderful job. Thank you for everything you did this morning.
Thank you, Karen. And now, who do you think I get to call up? I'm actually going to call them all up at the same time, if that's okay. So Eli has some brief words he wants to share. I love the relationship that you have with your brother. So come on up, Eli. You're all going to come up and say some very nice things about you. Do we have tissues? Yes, they're right there. Those are just for you and your mom, and I think actually your dad, because I think he's a softie too. All right. Right into the microphone, Eli.
Yeah. First off, wow, you did amazing. Second, I hope you're having so much fun. Even at this point, time is flying by, so don't forget to just pause and take it in. You are the most bestest sister. Yes, I know my grandma's not there. I have the best time when you make inside jokes, have dance parties, and educate our parents about pop culture, even though they usually don't get it. Or they try to, and it's really weird when they use it. I am so proud of you and look forward to being Madrachim together on Sundays. I love you.
I'm good. For now.
Step closer.
Wow, Maddie, we are so proud of you. You did it. What an incredible job you've done today with grace and poise, thanks to all your hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Take a moment to look around and capture this moment knowing everyone is here for you in person and on Zoom to witness and celebrate you. Maddie, the way you began your journey into this world reflects who you are today. You were late to arrive, but my goodness, once you decided to make your grand entrance, you sure came quickly. You already know that this was a scene from a sitcom, and if you all don't know that, we'll share it later. But what you might not realize is that your grand entrance set the scene for who you are today as a person. You are quick to arrive, whether it's to show up to a meeting or an event or to offer a helping hand to someone in need. You are always present with a listening ear and a big heart. You gracefully navigate the positive moments in life, and you push your way through the rough moments with tenacity. You scream and cry when times are tough, yet you laugh, smile, and find your inner peace when everything is calm. Despite all these emotions, you hold your head high and continue to be confident and reflective in each decision you make while navigating your life's journey. As you continue on this path into adulthood, we hope you embrace life to the fullest while balancing mixed emotions with ease. When moments get tough, pause and listen to your inner voice telling you how to proceed calmly and confidently. Confront your fears so they don't prevent you from pursuing what you love or possibly open the door to a new potential. May your sense of humor also remain close to you and comfort you and others through difficult times. You always know how to put a smile on people's faces with your sense of humor and that big heart of yours.
We also hope you foster the extraordinary gifts that have been given of empathy, kindness, intelligence, and, like Rachel, beauty. May you continue to embrace your beauty, both inside and out. Although we have no intentions to arrange your future marriage, we know your beauty and your loving, vivacious, compassionate soul will lead you to your beshert, your soulmate in life. But before you find that love of your life, we hope you always know that the most important person to love in life is yourself. As an adult, we also hope you embrace your Jewish faith, which has guided you so much of your childhood and continues to be an important part of our family. You've taken your first official step towards adulthood, but, like Jacob, you have a long road ahead, filled with goals to achieve and obstacles to overcome along the way. As you embark on this adventure into Jewish adulthood, we hope you allow music and prayer to fill your heart and soul while guiding your actions and choices in life. May you always remember this extraordinary day and your Jewish mothers and fathers who came before you and made it possible for you to stand here today. May God smile upon you, bathe you in sunlight, and embrace you every step of the way. Most importantly, as you navigate your way into adulthood, remember always how much we love you. We are proud of you, not only for your accomplishments today, but also of the young woman you are becoming. We love you.
So we're almost done. We are going to sing a Shehechianu for you. Assembly is going to lead us in Shehechianu, which these words, Baruch Atah Adonai, Shehechianu, V'kiyamanu, V'higianu, Lazman Hazeh, means we thank God for giving you life, for giving all of us life, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this very special moment in time. And then we're going to end with Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. We have to do two things, though, before. You want to grab the the juice that's over there. We got to say a blessing over the juice and the challah. I'll take that from you as you grab the challah. So, two blessings, a Shehechianu and a Siman Tov. You ready? Join you, and you're going to end with l'chaim, right?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagalafen. L'chaim. Yeah.
And then, you see the challah that Miss Jessie made for you. I'll turn it so you can show it. Okay. A little tiny challah just for her. Miss Jessie is our religious school director who is baking challah for our religious school students for their B'nai Mitzvah. And so we're going to say B'tei Avon, which kind of means good eating, at the end instead of Amen. So we're going to say the motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Yeah. And now we're going to end with Shehechianu and Siman Tov. And we just want to say thank you to everyone for being here to celebrate with the Wurtzel family. I know it means a lot to Maddie and the rest of her family that you are all present. And we're going to let the folks online say their congratulations to you at the very end of Siman Tov, okay?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh. Amen.
And now Siman Tov.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Siman Tov, Yeilanu, 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 Kulechol Yisrael, Yeilanu, Yeilanu, Kulechol Yisrael, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Siman Tov, Yeilanu.
All right, our online community, if you want to unmute yourself and wish Maddie a Mazel Tov, she'd love to hear from you.
Mazel tov.
There we go. All right.
It was just beautifully
Right, say
done.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and one last time, everybody who's in our worship in person, say Shabbat Shalom. Look at all those folks. All right. Well, Mazel Tov, Maddie, and have a wonderful day celebrating. Thank you, everybody, for being here at Temple Emmanuel. Bye-bye. Bye, online people. Bye.
Great job,
Yes.
beautiful service.
We love you. We'll be in touch with all of you individually soon. Take care. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for celebrating with us this morning or this afternoon.
Maddie, we're so proud of you. You did such an excellent job, and we love you, and you are the best LL, ST. She'll know what that means. Yes, and we'll never forget today. It was just fabulous, and we love you always. Lovely lady.